Hi there, Tim Nichols here. People ask me, Doc, what do you do now that you're retired? Well, I'm never bored, I can tell you that. One of the things I enjoy doing is leather work. This is a strap for a briefcase that I'm making. It's kind of a hand stitched, hand sewn, one of a kind piece, and I enjoy doing that kind of thing. But the other thing I do is think a lot about optometry. Still, I think about all the years that I was a business owner and what I might have done better and what I might be able to tell you that you might do, be successful in your practice and hopefully avoid some of the problems that I learned about the hard way. One of the things I want to talk about today is employee retention. We'll talk about it in terms of 5 P's. So, employee retention right now is a big problem because there's so many jobs that have yet to be filled, and it's a buyer's market if you're in the job shopping business because many employers are willing to pay sign-on bonuses even just to get you to come and to work in their business. So what can we do as business owners to make sure that we keep the good employees that we have and avoid that pain of having to go back through the hiring process again? So, number one, pay. Make sure you're paying properly. It's because it's a buyer's market. You have to make sure that your wages are competitive. But beyond just dollars and cents, there are, I think, some things that optometrists can do because of our independence and our small practices that make our business is attractive. We have the opportunity to be flexible sometimes in our work schedules, don't we? That we may be able to allow people to go to that school program and see their kids, perform and then come back to work and not only miss an hour or so or take off a little early for that soccer game. If you've got that kind of flexibility in your office, that can be very attractive to people. The other thing I think that optometrists, independent optometrists can do was something, I wish this had been my idea, but it was actually my partner's idea, that we had an account that every employee had, and into that account was a sum deposited annually that was based on their years of service, and with that they could buy materials for themselves, for their families, or for anybody they wanted to. So we had employees that had little charity programs that they took care of people, and some of them would even take care of one another. If there was a big need in a family, they would use that benefit that they had to give to someone else, and they did that with their time as well. Allowing that kind of flexibility in an office can make a very positive feeling on the part of the employee that this is a good place to work. They value me, and they will take care of me. Second P is praise. Now, the great resignation that we've just been through, in which so many people left the workforce, had a lot of interesting things, interesting facets to it. One of which people cited as a reason that they left is that they felt like they were not appreciated by their employers. Their managers, their owners, supervisors never said thanks. And how easy is that to do? But how hard sometimes is it to do? I know it's been a long day, you're tired, and you just want to go home, and they just want to go home, but take a moment and say, hey, thanks. Particularly when they do something outstanding. You took really good care of Miss Smith today, and that was a good find that you noticed when you noticed this particular finding. Or sometimes just thank them for showing up. Say, hey, I know it's you didn't feel great today, but you pushed through. Thanks for doing that. It's so easy to do, but so often overlooked, that a good thank you goes a long way. And another part of that is the other P is purpose. Now, we've talked again about the Great Resignation. One of the things that came out of that is that people felt like their jobs were meaningless, that they were just there earning a paycheck. They weren't really doing anything that they felt like was important. I hope that you, as a business owner, have taken time, as we've encouraged you to do, to think about the vision of your practice, a vision that's big enough that it involves not just you, but others, and how you are going to involve other employees in your business on the mission to fulfill that vision for your practice. That indeed you want your employees to be not just on the clock, but on a mission. And how can they know what that mission is if you don't tell them and show them and talk about it? So that's part of I think an important reason why people work, is that they realize they're doing something that's bigger than just simply showing up and earning a check, that they're really on a mission to fulfill a very grand vision. So share that with people. Make sure that they understand the purpose in what they're doing. The fourth P is peace. Not a lot great came out of the Carter administration, but there was a speech that he made in which a speechwriter gave him a great line, and it's very true. He said that peace, like war, must be waged. Think about that. That you've got to really work to maintain the peace in the office, because our human nature is not always going to be our best friend when it comes to little natter and gossip and things that can be very disruptive in the office. If you're showing favoritism, if you're allowing one person to be unaccountable for what's taking place, oh, that'll destroy the peace in the office so quickly. And you'll end up with a work environment that is not good. We talk about the culture in an office, and your culture must be carefully guarded. If you're going to have good employee retention, guard that culture, because that's what makes your office a great place to work. That's what makes your patients want to come back. They see happy employees. So the office culture is very, very critical, and guard the peace at all costs. It is going to be inevitable, though, that people will leave you. They'll have, husband and wife job changes, and they'll move out of town. There'll be babies born and things happen, so that you'll have to replace good employees. So the last P is simply pipeline. Be thinking about who's next in the pipeline. Keep your eyes and ears open. Is there someone in the service sector, at a restaurant or at a store that you frequent, that's very good, very customer friendly? Is there someone that's really good in sales that might make a great optician? Is there someone that's maybe changing jobs that's, you need to keep an eye on? Keep that eye open for the pipeline of who might be your next good employee. So your 5 P's of employee retention. Think about the pay, make sure it's fair. Think about praise, make sure your employees know they're appreciated. Make sure they buy into the purpose of your practice. Make sure that you maintain the peace. Like war, it must be waged. So be fair, firm, make sure everyone's accountable, and then finally, keep your eye open for the pipeline. Hey, I'm getting close to the end. Hope you enjoyed this. Thanks.